I love this video! This is so exciting! Internet Historians, The Engoodening of No Man's Sky. Part 2. I'm in shock. I'm in shock that this is happening the way it's happening. If you're coming to this video first, don't. Watch this one. This one? It's in one of these corners. Watch wherever it is, that one first. Part 3 will be up in the middle of the week if it's not already up, depending on when you're watching this. So please click the little thing when you get to the end of this one. I am a self-published author. These are my books. They're fine. Let's not overhype them. Let's not have a hype train. Just, you should buy them and read them and make up your own mind after you read them with no hype going into it. They're just fine. Quick shout out to my channel members. Thank you so much for supporting. If you want to become a channel member, hit that join button and I will be sure to read your comments. And we're going right back into about the 16-minute mark of this No Man's Sky video, the multiplayer scandal. Scandal? I'm like stressed. I'm stressed about what's gonna happen next. Like, I don't even understand. Okay, let's get into it.
This one is a literal game changer.
Is it even possible to meet up with your friends in No Man's Sky? The answer is absolutely yes.
Oh.
It's possible.
Oh.
On multiple occasions, Sean said it was definitely in the game.
Will you be able to play with your friends?
Yeah. Can you run into other people, other players on the game?
Yes.
But then just before the release, Sean posted this cryptic tweet.
To be super clear, No Man's Sky is not a multiplayer game. Please don't go in looking for that experience.
Oh, what? So there's no multiplayer function. But then the next line contradicts that.
Because the chances of two players ever crossing paths in a universe this big is pretty much zero.
Oh, so it is multiplayer. You just have to overcome this finding each other hurdle.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
No, it's more confusing than that, because the box doesn't mention online playing, just network features. And the collector's edition had its online play icon stickered over. So customers are going, which one is it, Sean? Just tell us if it has multiplayer or it doesn't have
Winona, me too,
Sean
girl.
wouldn't give any answers. But after hundreds of thousands of purchases, people soon took it upon themselves to find out. Despite the claims that it would be so improbable,
Chances that are incredibly rare, just because of the size and what we're building.
on the very first day, two people noticed they were only 4 star systems from one another, and they met up on the same planet in a live stream. Oh dear.
A black pillar.
Our streams are exactly lined up. If you go look at my stream, we're looking at the exact same area right now if you don't move.
Yep, that's the same spot. And they can't see each other.
I'm alone!
That's innocent. It's not multiplayer because it's so big. It's not multiplayer because it's just not fucking multiplayer. And this led to quite a revolt. What did Sean have to say about all this?
Sean!
So amazing, 2 people found each other on the first day. That has blown my mind.
So why can't we see other players in-game?
Wow, so many of you playing.
Yeah, Sean, but what?
Truly amazing. My mind is blown.
So what's the game actually like then?
Oh my
Is it any
god.
good? That is a difficult thing to say.
Well, it certainly is stylish and pretty, and there are a lot of places to explore,
Okay.
but that doesn't mean there's much to find.
So, like, would this have been a good game if nobody had any expectations of it? Like, if the expectations were 0 and it was just a game, would this have been a good game? I don't know if the video is going to answer the question. Sorry. I'll get back to the video.
In fact, the game boils down to a very simple loop. Hold down the trigger to pick up resources, deal with a full inventory, get an upgrade, leave the planet, go to another planet. Hold down the trigger, deal with a full inventory, get an upgrade, leave the planet, go to another planet. Hold down the trigger, deal with a full inventory, leave the planet, go to another planet, deal with a full inventory, get an upgrade, leave the planet, go to another planet. That's it. $60.
Okay, I don't want to be an asshole, but, like, isn't that level of repetition, like, all games? I feel like, I haven't played that many games, so I don't know. But look for the thing, find the thing, go to the next spot. I feel like that's like, is it that it was just to hold the one thing? That's the problem. There's no like doop 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 to get it. Is that why it's disappointing? Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Refuel your multi-tool, refuel your life support, refuel a separate part of your multi-tool that shoots bullets instead of the mining beam, refuel your launch thrusters. It's busy work that makes it look like you have something to do. It's not real.
How dare you?
I mean,
What
none of
followed
it's
was one
real.
of the most dramatic
Wait,
crashes in
I don't
player
understand
numbers
why
in
this
gaming
is
history. Sales in the UK fell by 81% in the second
Yeah, no
week.
shit.
Concurrent players on Steam dropped from 212,000 in August to just over 2,000 by September and fewer than 1,000 by October.
Oh my
And
gosh.
what followed that was perhaps the biggest pylon. Reviewers on YouTube panned the game.
I will say, if you want to make a video panning my books, that's totally fine. If you want to make a video about how shitty my books are, you want to make that video, go ahead. You want to talk about my books somewhere? Positive, negative, doesn't matter. They're just fine. You go right ahead, baby. You do that. You pan my books. Just talk about them. Just buy them. Talk about them to anybody.
Thank you done fucked it up! I had no hype, and I can tell you that, even without that disappointment, this game is hot garbage.
Oh no!
Has anyone coined Sean Mourinho yet?
Numerous times within the first 2 hours of the game, I kept saying, this is it, fuck this shit.
Oh.
Reviewers in the media were almost as harsh.
Devastating realization that most of the crafting, combat, and other activities you do on and between those planets ranges between bemusing and outright bad.
The criticism was deafening. And a lot of it really funny and creative. Krobycat made a video that captured the sentiment of that day, and if you haven't seen it yet, you're missing out.
So
I
people
haven't
are
seen it
furious.
yet.
The game is boring, and soon people discover that complaining about the game is actually more fun than playing it.
Wait, I'm now 3.5 hours into the tutorial, pretty much.
So they started complaining about it like they were grinding for an achievement.
This sucks. Fucking Minecraft in space.
Many people made compilations of all the unfulfilled promises. One guy on the subreddit compiled a big list of all the missing features. Front page. Got a defense for No Man's Sky? Enjoy your downvote.
Oh.
In fact, the entire No Man's Sky subreddit was in such disarray it had to be locked.
So by the end of the month,
I mean, this is funny, but this is sad.
Cheerios. By October, it was one of the worst rated games on Steam, with an aggregate of mostly negative from more than 70,000 reviews. The outrage of the game was headline news for weeks on dozens of games news publications, and the price on eBay and Amazon and secondhand at GameStop was crashed to the floor. Please, no more. But the beatings had.
But like, what was that first guy who
the
got
demo
the leaked
planet
copy
was
talking
data mined and
about?
found to be, of course, totally scripted and not randomly generated at all.
I've just got to pick one of these at random. If anything horrible goes wrong, just keep in mind that I've not been here before.
It wasn't some level that we built or something like that, even though I think it looks quite nice in places.
People watching this would wonder why you're showing this area again. Like, what's so special about demoing the game on this planet?
Oh, no, it's just a place that looks nice.
No. Bad Murray.
I could have ended the demo with some, pre-scripted crazy thing that would happen. You know what I mean? The normal thing of like, and then a monster emerges from behind the mountains,
People see what's going on with the game and feel lied to.
Well, because
This
he's
is false
lying.
advertising, they say, and angry customers start scoping out a lawsuit. On September 28th, the ASA busts through the door and goes, "Yep, too many complaints. We're going to investigate." But then soon after, the ASA cleared them of any legal wrongdoing. Technically, the only thing they're interested in is what's on the back of the box,
Yeah,
what's on the
that's
store page, and what's on the Steam
interesting.
page. So it's technically not false advertising.
Right. That's
But
interesting.
of course, technically not illegal doesn't mean much to an angry audience. October 28th, Hello Games Twitter is hacked. The hacker posts, "No Man's Sky was a mistake," and is shitting on the game in the replies. Turns out Sean didn't use two-factor authentication on his LinkedIn, and that's how they got in. They also sent discrediting emails to journalists, which they knew would rile people up if published. Some people even show up to their offices to take photos and knock on the door, even at night and on the weekend. They posted empty pictures of the office, so, naturally out of context, this started rumors that Hello Games simply took the money and ran.
Well,
this in addition to
did they
numerous
not?
bomb and death threats during that period. Those ones Sean did have to take seriously.
Regular intervention from police and Scotland Yard and things like that.
And while Sony didn't quite throw them under the bus, it was more like a gentle push under a minivan when Sony President Shohei Yoshida admitted that Hello Games did not have a great PR strategy for No Man's Sky.
Well, it was lies!
The press took the ball with that one and ran. But despite all of this, all of the negative press, they were actually nominated for a couple of awards. But by this point, Murray
What
and the other
awards?
members of Hello Games were so downtrodden and so sure they weren't going to win that they opted to go elsewhere for dinner.
And the Innovation Award goes
Shut the
to
f up.
No Man's Sky. Oh, bro. This lovely trophy going once.
Whoops.
I'm going to accept this on the behalf of Hello Games, and congratulations to them. And now I'm going to walk off stage like I planned that whole thing.
Ha, he's funny.
By this point, you've got to feel just a
Hello
little bit sorry for
showers. I do.
And then what followed that was the final straw for many. No particular incident, but a lack of incidents. Silence. Over 3 months of not a damn word from No Man's Sky.
Yeah. Because he's still in No Man's
Where are
shower.
they? Where is my refund? Where is Murray? Shouted into the void. The game was over. And it was dead.
And then what happened? Same story, another side. I love this video. This is so exciting.
The year is 2008.
Okay.
Sean has just graduated from university and is headed into the big wide world. He rises up the ranks at a number of studios.
Okay.
Eventually working as a technical lead for Black and technical director for Burnout 3.
Okay.
When Burnout's developer is bought by EA, he is in his late 20s.
I don't know why that grossed me out. I
And he
didn't
and
like
three of
that.
his buddies decide to leave and start their own studio. Hello Games.
Okay.
This was a risky venture.
So we'd done this incredibly foolish thing of like quitting our jobs, and then we had to sit down and try and decide what the game was going to be.
Together they create their first title,
Yeah.
Joe
Great.
Danger. They work on this game day and night. In fact, even once they were arrested in their own office because the police thought they were there to rob the place, because who would be working at 11 p.m. on a Sunday night? But they had to work that hard. Like any startup, it was a huge financial and professional risk. They had no income. They were working in a tiny room above an old tile shop, living off savings. And to keep the project running, Sean even sold his house.
Wow.
So we made a really tough and probably at the time seemed really foolish decision. It's kind of almost embarrassing for me to talk about. I sold my house and just basically went all in and funded what we were doing, which is not something I would recommend.
I don't even have a house.
But by June 8th...
I don't even have a house to sell. I rent. In this economy, ooh, if I had a house, I would just hunt pigeons and live happily. House rich and money poor. That's the dream.
But by June 8th, 2010, they had done it. The game was good. And they could breathe a sigh of relief because on the very first day it hit the PlayStation Store, they made their money back.
Oh, wow.
2 years later,
Goals,
Joe Danger
man.
2 was released.
Goals.
It was not the commercial success they had hoped for, and they didn't want to just keep pumping out sequels. That was a trap big players
Call
in
of
the
Duty,
industry
Call of
had
Duty,
fallen
Call of
into.
Duty, Call of Duty.
In his spare time, Sean started working on a prototype for a procedurally generated game. They took another gamble and scrambled to get a trailer out in time to present at VGX 2013.
Oh, so this was mistake number one.
So the project is official now.
Okay, so this is something that's very interesting. I want my book to be out this coming summer, like 2024, June 2024. The only place you'll hear me talk about that is in, like, I might mention it like I'm mentioning it now, but I will not make anything official until everything is done. I learned that lesson the hard way. Like, I know it's completely different for games than novels, but in terms of announcing projects, like, the pressure, and then it just feels like if I do this thing, something's gonna go wrong. Like, if I say an actual date, something's gonna go wrong. So I would love to be done in under a year. Is that gonna happen? I have no idea. I don't know. And I will not set a firm release date until the audiobooks are done and the cover is done. Because I'm so afraid of I've learned the hard way. I'm just like, doing everything yourself is rough. Thanks for watching. It helps. It helps me. Yeah, the pressure's
Around this
on!
time, Sean is also looking to start a family.
What?
Concurrent to all this development, he would go on to have 3 kids. So the weight of responsibility is really piling on.
Why?
But their hard work will pay off as they're finally
Yo,
going
I
to
have plants!
some R&R around
That's
Christmas.
what I have.
They woke up to find their homes flooded, their cars submerged, and their plans for Christmas Day very much ruined.
Bad news. Rain. Rain and flooding in the south of England, right around the Hello Games office. They are completely inundated and they return from their holidays to find laptops floating around at waist height. But some good news. They hadn't lost any data.
Oh.
So they pull together. Soldier on. Development continues.
Wait, I want to read that little... Sonley kindly offered them resources to help them recover from the flood, scaled their production. But the offer was declined!
Soldier on. Development.
Sean also mentions in an interview that it was a blessing in disguise, as a team at the time was kind of split in two. When the flooding happened, they all pulled together to fix some official. I can't see because the thing is there. Have time to get into the video properly. It's probably not that interesting to most people. I feel like it's kind of interesting. Was it worth it pausing the video just to read this? Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Continues. So there they are, working in a damp office, and then...
Okay.
Ding dong.
Ding dong.
Who's at
The
the
witch
door?
is dead.
It's Danish mathematician Dr. Johan Gillis.
Oh.
He's seen the game, and he says, they are using my super formula in perfect English, and there is a potential for a lawsuit.
Oh.
Sean says they didn't, and he can prove it. So they have a meeting, and the claim is eventually dropped.
Oh.
Lawsuit evaded.
Oh,
So
that's
back to
good.
work, guys. Ding dong.
The witch is dead!
It's Sky Television.
Oh.
They've seen the game.
You are infringing on our Sky trademark.
They said in perfect text-to-speech. They had succeeded in getting Microsoft to change SkyDrive to OneDrive, and they were about to give gamers No Man's 1 under threat of lawsuit. But this lawsuit didn't just go away. The threat loomed over them for the next 3 years, right up until the month before release.
That's kind of crazy.
So they get back to work and ding dong.
The witch is dead!
It's Sony, with some good news for once. We like a game.
That's crazy! Can you own a word like that? I'm gonna try and own the word the or and. Do you think I could just sue people? Ah, you've used the word and! Copyright infringement! Give me money!
We want to feature it front and center and make you a big star. This could mean millions of dollars in additional revenue. They said, yeah. But along with it, a lot of press for this game would need to be done. Being a small team, they didn't have anyone for PR. They had their designers, they had their developers, and that was about it. So it's up to Murray. Sean's in his early 30s now.
Oh my God.
Not super young, but relatively young, and
Not
inexperienced for
super
this
young.
type of media circuit.
I feel so old.
This deal with Sony put extra pressure on them. It set deadlines. It's not that it's Sony's fault.
Yeah.
But they're locked in now with much less flexibility.
Okay.
So when May rolls around, and they have no option but to delay, even if they wanted to ask for an extra 6 to 12 months of development, which they really need, it's probably too much to ask for. So they extend from late June to August. Only 6 weeks.
Why would
From
Sony...
here, you can predict what's going to happen to
Yeah, but-
multiplayer and a bunch of other promised features. So here's how the hype happened.
But it's not even about the hype. Like, is Sony stupid? Why would they want the game to be done? Is it not their name that is also being tarnished by... Well, maybe not. Maybe they're big enough that doesn't matter, but I don't understand. I guess I might get taught.
And here's the line which shows the reality of development. Progress is steady and ends in August 2016. Now here is the line of player expectations.
Oh, yeah.
It should start out here and follow along the purple. But the overhyping trailer comes out and puts us way up here. In this trailer, it features a bunch of things that Hello Games thinks they're capable of having in the game by 2016. That's the first big mistake. Then it's announced for PlayStation and it costs $60 and there's a collector's edition. Second, even bigger mistake. That puts us all the way up here. And I think this is the main problem, because price tags set expectations. For a
I think my books are very reasonably priced. Reasonable prices for reasonable expectations.
$60 game, this was seriously barren and disappointing. Now, if they had put it out for $20 as an indie game or an alpha, no problem. But when they gave it the AAA treatment, people rightfully aligned their expectations with other games in that category. That is the main reason customers' expectations were so skewed. Then Murray went to interviews, exacerbating the problem.
Oh my god.
Every time he mentioned a feature in the game, even in passing, fans set their expectations to AAA heights for that feature. Now, some people think the interviews are the main problem. In my humble opinion, not so much. Most people never saw these interviews. It's not that rickety 12-foot ladder Sean's standing on that's the main problem. It's the 900-foot building he's perched on in the first place. So the obvious solution here would be an official statement. Hey guys, look, don't expect a 10 out of 10. Expect more of a 5 out of 10. No, the publisher just sank an enormous investment of marketing and opportunity into the game.
What's wrong with you?
And that would be a huge middle finger to them. The publisher isn't going to make you hype the shit out of your game, but you can't talk it down either. So, he's kind of stuck up there. In some ways, during the interview, he tries to temper expectations, but it's limited.
Can you build a space station?
No.
But let's not gloss over the interviews. Sean is a technical guy. He's a developer. He's also the introverted type. And the big lights and the stuff on camera does not come naturally to him.
Is it super nerve-wracking to talk on stage at E3?
Yes. Yes, definitely. I personally find going on stage at E3 like the hardest thing I've ever done.
I'm so stressed for him and it's already
I
happened.
would have had in a nightmare before. You know what I mean? It's
literally the hardest thing you've ever done?
Yeah.
That's the hardest thing you've ever done in your life is probably
and took
fine.
interviews for his game from 2013 to 2016. And the main thing people wanted to hear about were the features.
Can you have more than...
So every planet, will there be wormholes?
At what point...
Do you get points or anything?
From these interviews, people took Sean to be a liar, a Peter Molyneux or a chess club member out to sell his game at whatever reputational cost.
Kind of sounds like it.
But I think the truth is more complicated.
Tell me about it.
Sean and the team are indie developers working on a new IP. Their project and plans are constantly in flux.
Okay.
They have no idea how large chunks of the game are going to look, especially not a couple of years out from release. And crucially, Sean doesn't understand that something mentioned in 2013, even said in passing, is going to be seen as a promise in the year 2016, even if by then you've decided to cut it from the game. For example, orbiting around the sun.
Day has turned it out because the planet has actually rotated on its axis.
This originally was in the game, but it caused the player too much confusion. It kept being reported as a bug in the beta, as people left the planet and then returned to find everything different. But nonetheless, into the lying compilation it goes. So while they're still essentially formulating the game, the media all want a piece of Sean and to report on features first. Conversely, Sean thinks the reporters might help him to temper down things by emphasizing that Hello Games is an indie studio. But that is not how journalism is done. This is how journalism is done.
Can you customize the look of your character?
Sort of.
Full customization confirmed in No Man's Sky.
I think that's how bad journalism is done.
Periodic table to create atmospheric particles that would diffract light at just the right wavelength.
Told you. The press kind of operates downstream from the community because things are click-driven as to what stories you get served and things like that. But a rumor would surface from Reddit straight to the front page.
There's all this hype, and the project has increased in scope dramatically and keeps increasing as the months go by until a point.
Oh, this is a horrible story!
And have to delay. And the reality of what they can achieve in the little time remaining is staring them in the face.
Oh my God! Okay, I think we're gonna leave it here for video 2, but video 3 is out already, or it will be out in a couple days. You'll see it on it'll be in one of the things. Man, I mean, not only is this story insane, this video is so cool. I hope that you are impatient to watch the end of it if you've never seen this video before and you go and watch the original one. How do you even, like, when you're in the muck like that, what do you even do? I feel like, oh my gosh, that's so stressful. Poor Sean. Okay, I want to know what happens at the end of this. So if it's past the Tuesday or Wednesday when this video actually came out, it'll be linked in one of these, and if it's not, it'll be there on Wednesday. So thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. I hope you've watched 1 and 2. As I said, 3 will be coming out soon. Please lower your expectations and then buy my novels. Thanks again. I hope you're all happy and healthy, taking care of yourselves and each other, being friends instead, and as always, until next time, may the force be with you. Live long and prosper, and I'll be back. Click the thing if it's there, or if it's not there, watch something else. Bye.